Hello everybody, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing a surprise album drop from Shikari. So Shikari have actually planned to just release a full album, no singles, no promotion, just randomly. And this was quite surprising to me. I think the last time I was hyped for a surprise album drop, or kind of knew that one was coming, was the Bring Me the Horizon Next Gen one, which actually wasn't an album I was big on, but the fact that they just kind of dropped an album we were anticipating to come out earlier, was nice. And the new Neurosis record as well, which I didn't even really know it came out until a few days later, so it wasn't quite a surprise to me, because I didn't know if they teased singles, because I wasn't really following much Neurosis at the time. But Shikari just completely dropped it. I knew this was coming out because there was a leak on Reddit that someone posted about the information. Moderators deleted it immediately to not spoil the fun, and now we got a brand new record from Shikari. So I'll go through this one track by track, because I do have quite a bit I want to say about it, so let's dive into it. So Lose Yourself, which I find it weird that it's kind of like not yourself, it's your and self, kind of separating the word into two, kind of giving you a bit of a different meaning and texture onto it. Now, Lose Yourself is actually really fun. It's one of the kind of more upbeat, energetic tracks that I can definitely see him playing live. It's just got a lot of personality to it, and it's quite explosive in its fun ideas. Some elements of it, like the repetitiveness of the lyrics on this one, remind me of Bloodshot with the hypnotized and so hypnotized sort of bit, and I think it's cool. It kind of feels like an improved version of Bloodshot, which I think that song's still pretty cool, but yeah, Lose Yourself already is beating most of Kiss for the Whole World for me, and I'd argue a lot of the previous two albums as well. Honestly, Lose Yourself is just a great opening to the record. It's one of my favourite tracks of the album straight away. It's a great title track. First time we really had a title track just like that. We do have songs that mention the title, and I guess you could argue we have the appeal and the Mindsweep, but it's not just called the Mindsweep. This is literally what the album title is called, and it's a great song to represent the name of it. Lose Yourself is sick. Find Out the Hard Way was an awesome listen. I feel like this one's just got a kind of a standard Shikari chorus. I like the meaning on this one. I like the fact that Raul even opens up and makes pretty much goes a lot more personal in some of these tracks. It feels like we're kind of not just getting glimpses of political aspects, we're literally seeing how it's even affecting the band, and the fact that we're even getting the band mentioning themselves is it kind of caught me by surprise to hear Raul call himself on this one. But this song is great. I honestly think it's a very good follow-up to Lose Yourself on the record. I love the fact it's got some sick breakdowns. I love the heavier sound this one goes for. I really miss the kind of angrier post-hardcore electronic, I guess you could say electronic core of the earlier eras, to just kind of the heavier sound they had in general, from Take to the Skies to the Mindsweep. So the fact that we are now diving into something that generally feels like one of the heaviest songs they've put out in a while is very refreshing to see. The guitars are sick, the breakdown is awesome, the song itself is great, and I love the fact when it ends, it builds up into that breakdown at the ending as well. It's a really fun song, another absolute banger, and I've already been excited for the first two. This is literally just how I was first impressions. I was like, oh shit, it's just going to keep getting better, isn't it? We had Dead in the Water. This one is also really good as well. I think this one's got a very fun, punchy feel to it. It's definitely going to be kind of one of the least popular tracks on the record. I feel like there's a lot of flashy stuff on this record, and Dead in the Water kind of sits at the, it feels like what Shikari would do. It's not spectacular in its way of being a very kind of like unique song, but Dead in the Water still is a great fit with this, and it's another absolute fun track. Demons, this one's quite cool. I think this one definitely reminds me a bit of Kiss for the Whole World. A lot of these tracks do remind me of The Spark, and Nothing Is True and Everything's Possible. It's like they kind of take aspects of what worked the last few records and kind of compile it to the best of each bit, and that's how I've felt so far. Demons is another pretty good one as well. The Flick of a Switch 1 honestly is probably my favourite of the record. It's hard to decide between this and Lose Yourself, but this one is just insane. I love the chorus, I love the electronic bits, I love the call out, I just love this bit, and I even love the heavier parts, the ending as well. The Flick of a Switch is just going to be absolutely one of the best songs from this record live, so I knew that this is going to be a favourite of mine. It's so good. The heaviest song on the record is actually an interlude, I Can't Keep My Hands Clean. I find it so weird that the most aggressive vocal performance is on an interlude type track. It still feels like a song, just kind of a short one, but it's not bad. It's enjoyable. I just feel like I kind of wish this had a bit more to it. I just feel like it kind of gets slumped as more of an interlude short song. I wish it had a little bit more, but I enjoy it. I just wish that if they were going to put heavier onto something, it would be more of the songs rather than the interludes, but I can't really complain. I still, I don't skip this one. This one's still fun. Then we have It's Okay, which this one definitely reminds me of an AWOL Nation song. Just the way that it's delivered from the verses, just kind of the rap flow to the electronic beats, it definitely has that Aaron Bruno production sound to it, and I'm not complaining. AWOL Nations has some pretty good stuff. It just feels like you take the kind of Phantom 5 sound, the modern AWOL Nation sound basically, and then you kind of put more heaviness on the chorus of it. It's Okay, I thought was just going to be an okay song, but it hooked me on. It is quite a very cathartic, I guess it's definitely one of the most emotional performances of the record, and it does a very good job of that. It's another banger. The Flick of a Switch 2, this one's cool, but it doesn't really do too much to kind of really feel like it justifies being a sequel. It just kind of feels like an interlude more than I Can't Keep My Hands Clean, which is so weird because that song is an interlude and this isn't really, but I just think interlude when I listen to it. Even the Marionettes 1 and 2, they just kind of work better when it comes to that. Figure Switch beats Marionettes 1 and 2, but as a 1 and a 2 can go, it's definitely the more consistent. I like this song still, but it kind of doesn't really have too much to it until it gets to the kind of the last moments where the guitar kicks in. Some of the heaviest guitar work is on this sort of interlude track. I kind of wish it just felt a bit more like a proper song, but it is still good. Shipwrecked, I know this is already a fan favourite from what I've seen. It's fun, it definitely feels like the Spark fun side of Shikari, and it's pretty good. Shipwreck is just very fun in Shikari. Spaceship Earth 1, Avic Abandon. This one's quite a lot of fun as well. It's just an absolute great start to this trilogy of the Spaceship Earth songs, and this is a pretty fun one. I feel like this already builds up that grand feel of everything I like about the new sound that Shikari are dabbling in, and it works pretty well in my opinion. Spaceship Earth 2, Ango Siskio, I think I butchered that, is a very nice, calmer, softer sound to it, but it's a very nice change as well. It's welcome, it's got some fun, beautiful moments to it, and I think it's definitely another bop on here. And then Spaceship Earth 3, this is kind of like your waltzing off the face of the earth sort of interlude type track. I do like it. It's a lot more on the kind of orchestral, using brass instruments to kind of give it that grand finale to the record sort of feel, and I like it, but it's not up there with everything else we had. It's such an insane record for Shikari because the amount of variety we have on here is insane. The production is pretty much crisp and it's pretty much as good as I always expect from Shikari, but the biggest shock of the record for me is how Shikari have managed to outdo themselves in the new modern era of their sound. Honestly, The Spark, I think, is a good record. It just kind of feels a bit limited, and just wish it was a lot more varied. I feel like some songs are a bit sluggish on that one. I still like it, but compared to the first 4 albums, I don't quite go into The Spark as much. It just feels a bit more like it's pushed to the mainstream sound Shikari wants to kind of go for in the kind of further down in discography. Nothing is True and Everything Is Possible was my first taste of Shikari, and I did not like this album at all when I first listened to it. It's grown on me more, but I still consider this the weak point. I just feel like there's a lot of gimmicky stuff that kind of takes away from the songs. I feel I want to get into some of the tracks, some songs, for example, Elegy of Extinction just does not appeal to me. Some of the part 1, part 2 type tracks I'm not really a big fan of either, and it's only certain tracks like Satellite, The Dreamers Hotel, The Great Unknown, Tina, The King that kind of pulls me in. Whereas I feel like half the record either is fine or it's not quite convincing me. And then The Kiss for the Whole World, I am probably in the minority that says I actually prefer it to the last two. I kind of feel like they pushed a little bit more of that heavier sound, only in a small dose, but the electronic elements they play with, there's a lot of fun stuff. I feel like the songs are actually pretty good on there. Even some of my favourite Shikari songs in the modern sound as well, like Leap Into the Lightning, Jailbreak, It Hurts, and Please Set Me On Fire, some of them. But this album manages to just kind of top everything from that point on. It's not going to be my favourite Shikari record. I don't think it's going to beat the Mindsweep. The Mindsweep, in my opinion, is just my favourite, and followed by Flash for the Colour. Now, even Common Dreads, I feel like probably would give this a lot of shtick, but for a modern Shikari record, it quite blew me away, and the fact that this experience was, no singles, just an entirely whole 41 minutes of brand new Shikari just back to back was beautiful. It's a lovely thing they dropped it. I kind of feel like I don't know if this is not going to make as much money for them doing it like this, but the fact that that's not the problem, they just wanted to give fans a whole experience like this, is amazing, and one of the reasons why Shikari is shot to be one of my favourite bands in a long time. This album is perfect. It's not necessarily perfect, but it is a very good record, and compared to what we had, it's a big masterpiece in that right. I love a lot of the stuff on here. I feel like some things could be a bit stronger, and I feel like the interlude tracks just kind of either do stuff that I wish was on main tracks, or it just kind of feels like a bit of a filler song, like Flick of the Switch 2 does. But as a whole, the album's pretty solid and it's pretty enjoyable. I can definitely see myself going back into this quite a bit, and I've been stumped on what I'm going to rate it as well, because it's definitely going to get a higher rating than 3.5 out of 5, which is what I gave Kiss for the Whole World. It's better than that, it's better than Spark, it's better than Nothing Is True, so I don't really know what to give it. I've been pondering if it's really as good as I think to make it one of my favourite albums of the year, but I decided on the best score for it, probably 4 out of 5. It's a pretty solid record, it's the best album they've had in a while, definitely the best album in the last decade for sure, and as far as an Shikari record goes, I am excited to see if which songs they debut on the 2026 tour, because they announced the tour months before this even existed, and I guess it's going to be the Lose Yourself tour, unless there is going to just be only a few songs and it's still going to be pushing kind of playing older tracks, but I'd like to see a lot of these songs played live. So that's all I have to say. Hope you enjoy, thanks so much for watching, and see you next video.